Hello, welcome back to the Cricket Nerds. We are on the eve of the 13th World Cup. Can't wait for that to start. And we've got a special guest who's going to talk to us about it. And that is the Club Cricket Badger, or Rohan. How are you doing?
Hi guys, thanks for having me on. Pleasure to be here, and can't wait to talk some cricket.
Yeah, can't wait. So we have a few questions we'd like to ask you, just because whenever we get a new guest on, I like to tell the audience about them. So you make GoPro videos, as well as some TikToks and other random cricket stuff. Do you want to talk to us briefly about how you got into that, and what was sort of your inspiration for it?
Yeah, so with cricket content in general, I suppose in the 2020 lockdown, I think Gareth was saying the same thing on his. We all kind of just started some sort of side thing, and for me, it was I saw one of my friends, and he posted some random videos on TikTok, and some of them were getting like 3,000-4,000 views. And at the time, I thought that was loads, so I started just doing similar videos, but for cricket. So I'd take like a clip from the in-betweeners, put a cricket caption on it, and then some of the videos. I think my first video got 1,000 views. I couldn't believe it. I told everyone. I told my parents. I told my friends, and then from then on, I started doing videos where I actually showed my face, and then they were getting kind of more and more views, like maybe 10, 20,000 views, which at the time I couldn't believe. And then I didn't think it would really go anywhere. But then when I went to university, or when I was going to play club cricket matches, people kind of started recognizing me from TikTok, which I thought was really cool, and it kind of really motivated me to do more and more of it. So I think last summer is when I really started to take it seriously. It was a big summer of cricket, so I thought I kind of just started posting like 2 or 3 TikToks a day. I started doing a lot of skits in my garden as well. And then I saw Can You Cricket actually do a lot of GoPro uh, videos on YouTube. And I saw he actually made a video saying he was doing it full time, which I couldn't believe. So I thought I've got to get a GoPro, got to start on YouTube. And my GoPro videos, they started doing pretty well. But problem is I started quite late of last season. I started maybe August, September. So then I promised myself that this season I'm going to GoPro every single game I play and just upload, spend all summer just editing videos, dishing them out, and seeing how far we can grow. And it's gone pretty well. And good thing about the GoPro videos as well as putting them on YouTube, I can make little shorts out of them, put them on YouTube Shorts, put them on TikTok, put them on Instagram, and just build a really nice community across the UK and across other countries as well with Instagram. Growing India, growing South Africa, Australia, and just growing as much as possible in the cricket space, and just really trying to take advantage of it.
Yeah, because
of course
it seems like you've gone everywhere with it. Like, you know, you've got such a wide variety of things that you're doing. And I mean, I love the cricket skits, especially about village cricket. I think you capture the essence of village cricket really well, especially with the like the reactions, and just it's brilliant. And obviously you've done the merch as well, which has taken off. That's been really successful as well, hasn't it?
Yeah. I thought obviously I've always been, because I used to have a business when I was in my first year of content. I used to just sell India kits, but I'm like, I can't really do this anymore. I need something proper website, proper setup. And I think one thing that didn't really exist is cricket clothing. There's not really a way to like wear clothes that kind of show you play cricket, unless you want to wear whites in public, which wouldn't really do.
No one does. No one wants to wear whites in public.
No. I don't even like wearing a cricket game, so I'm not gonna lie. We try not to. So I thought if I can get a design where people can show their love for cricket, no matter where they are, that's the way forward. So luckily, worked with a really good designer. Got a badger design, got a teddy bear design as well, and just got to go with that more in my videos. And it's another exciting thing on the side, and more of the skits as well. I think with club cricket and village cricket, I think everyone in the UK or even across the world, they all have a very kind of similar experience with cricket. They all have these really relatable elements, just things that pretty much every cricketer can relate to. So I kind of try to play on that and play these characters in my skits that everyone will recognize, everyone will share with their friends they've had these experiences with. And of course, like when videos get shared, they get pushed out more and more, and people start talking about you. So that's just kind of what I try to do with it.
Yeah, and I guess the phrase Club Cricket Badger, or just Cricket Badger in general, is something that everyone can relate to. So it's definitely you can market that. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Of course, Cricket Badger was taken, so I had to put the club in front. But it's got a nice ring to it, so I'll take it.
Definitely.
I didn't have enough time to do it for today's podcast, but I'd have really wished to do who's a bigger cricket badger, Zach, who's our resident cricket badger, or the Club Cricket Badger, and do a quiz. But I was, not prepared enough. So maybe we'll do that down the line in future. Test some badger offs, I reckon.
I think 13-year-old me would be very good at that competition, because I used to be a serious badger. Like, anyone stats, I know everyone's stats, every bit of cricket equipment I can name. I'd like to say I'm still relatively sharp, but I think my younger self, which is what a lot of my videos are based around, was a proper cricket badger. That's kind of, my teammates kind of gave me that nickname. That's kind of where I went with it.
Nice. Yeah, I think Zach should read you where he sits, and Paul is Wisden Cricketer Almanacs in the background as well, just to cement his badger status. No, it is really great seeing. I think we've all been enjoying that content. I think one thing that you've said that was really interesting was around like TikTok, was like where you almost started, I think, because I think probably one of the first content creators who have actually started on TikTok and then have moved over onto YouTube as well. I would say I think we're almost doing that in reverse now, where we're trying to put more of our like clips from the podcast onto TikTok. But yeah, I mean, how have you sort of coped when you've been recording those videos? You know, you have the classic sledges, like put that on your TikTok and all of that stuff when you're trying to record a GoPro video. I mean, how have you dealt with that?
Oh, it's just expected. Like, it's very hard to walk out to bat with a big meaty camera on your head without receiving some kind of response, really. Because if the people I'm playing against, they know who I am, then they're always a lot calmer about it, or they'll purposefully say things so they'll know they make the video better. But it's just awkward when, like, if you're playing against like middle-aged men who they don't watch your content and they're just seeing this kid walk out with a big camera on his head. It's exciting for them, isn't it? So they're always going to have but it's the same stuff every time. It's stick that on your TikTok, get that on your GoPro, and I'm just like, I will, mate, because it's good content. So. It's a win. It's a win-win, because one of the first games I did, I got sledged absolutely horrendously, but it actually made some really good videos out of it. So it's all a win at the end of the day. You can't complain.
Before we get on to talking about the World Cup, just one more question, and I think that's just because I don't think people normally appreciate how much effort goes into making these sorts of GoPro videos, etc. I was wondering how long does it take from coming up with the idea to then going through the footage and then eventually uploading it to YouTube or TikTok? How long does that actually take? How much editing time?
Sure. So for the TikToks, they're fairly simple, because obviously the videos are usually no longer than a minute. So it's a case of I'll physically just walk around my room and try and think of scenarios, think of skits. I'll just write them down on like the notes app on my phone, and then if someone's home, my parents are home, my brother's home, I'll just get them to hold the camera, and then that's a relatively quick process. I'll never spend like more than an hour kind of editing a TikTok, and I'll usually release it the same day I edit it. And then with the YouTube videos, with the GoPro things, the best thing about doing GoPro cricket is the ideas lend themselves. You have a new idea, you have a new video content idea every weekend, because all you have to do is really play a cricket match and then edit the content. But that's the thing, it's just editing the content, particularly editing a GoPro video, can take a very long time, because obviously it's first cutting up the footage and then adding all your text, your transitions, advertisements, things like that, your intro, your outro. But I'd say like a YouTube video will take maybe like 8 to 10 hours of good work, maybe over. So if I play a game on Sunday, I'll look to get it out on maybe the following like the Friday, Saturday. So maybe 4 or 5 days, few hours each day, just chipping away, and you're pretty much good to go. And then out of that GoPro vlog, you can make loads of TikToks out of it. Obviously, anything funny or interesting that happened, take TikToks out of it, put those same TikToks on Instagram, put them on YouTube Shorts, and just keep seeing the audience grow, hopefully. So it's weird. Like, every time I go out to play a club cricket match, it's technically now work, which I can't complain
part-time job.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
it's enjoying every minute of it.
So Benji did mention that he hadn't had time to sort of prepare a quiz and compare, who is the biggest badger here. But what we can do is, because our viewers and the subscribers on this channel are very good at remembering the predictions that you've made before a big tournament. So what we're going to do now is we're all going to kind of make our predictions for the World Cup. And I'm sure that some subscribers are going to, keep a tally of who is the biggest badger out of the four of us, because one of us, I'm sure, is going to get more right. And I'm predicting that Benji's going to get none right. So let's go.
What?
Right. Benji. So the first one we've got is who's going to be the top run scorer of the entire Cricket World Cup. Benji, you can go first.
Shutman Gill.
Shutman Gill. All right, go on, Rowan. Your go.
Oh, he's back a bit low down, but I'm going to go for Josh Butler.
Ooh, okay. I'm going for Rohit Sharma. I think he's going to really hit his stride. Go on, Zach.
You stole mine. Mine was between Rohit Sharma and someone else. So I'll go with the someone else, and that's Babar Azam.
Ooh,
Should we actually explain why we've said that
now? No explanation. I don't think you need explanations. They're all absolutely gun
It's
players.
the good choices, isn't it? It's the good choices.
Yeah.
I think I made a terrible choice there. I think mine backed a little bit too low down.
Yeah.
When's he batting ODIs now? Like
it's like 5, isn't it?
But the thing is with Butler is he might come out at 5, but he'll still hit like 3 tons in the tournament.
No, he loves India. He loves India as well.
That's it. And Joe Root's
India.
Joe Root's going to be coming out at 10 for 1 and making it 10 for 2, the form that he's in at the minute.
Yeah.
It looks like there's no Stokes, so it looks like we're going to have Harry Brook, who's had a shaky start. So
they'll definitely be Stokes. He won't play a warm-up game. That's just the way he does.
I reckon we'll see Butler come out and score some runs.
All right. I'm sure the next one we've got is who's going to be the top wicket taker. Now, it seems like all of us have kind of gone for teams that we think are going to make it all the way through. Because we've got Pakistan, India, England there. Who's going to be the top wicket taker? I'll kick things off. I'm going to go for Mitchell Stark. Who are you going for, Zach?
It's the safe choice, isn't it, for Mitchell Stark? But I'm going to go with Rashid Khan. And my reason for that is because when you look at how much of the weight is on his shoulders, like it's just, if anyone's going to take lots of wickets for Afghanistan, it's going to be him, isn't it? So my money's on Rashid Khan.
I don't know, Zach. Rashid Khan's not had the best record in World Cups. I remember, didn't Owen Morgan smash him
Morgan destroyed him.
Absolutely obliterated him at Manchester. No, I mean, I was going to go with Mitchell Stark, to be fair, because he is sick at World Cups. I think he's got currently the most amount of wickets of active players in World Cups. However, I think in home conditions, the man looks like he's a new person all of a sudden. I think Kuldeep Yadav is going to come and is going to take an absolute ton of wickets. I know Dan was on the podcast last week, and Dan was raving about Kuldeep Yadav. And yeah, I just agree. Like, I think left arm wrist spin is going to get an absolute bunch of wickets. Hopefully, he's going to skittle Australia on Sunday. That would be great for everyone to watch. So yeah, Kuldeep Yadav. Rowan, who do you think it's going to be?
Well, I should not be saying this as an India fan, but I could see it happening because this man is very dangerous. I'm going to go Shaheen Shah Afridi.
Yeah, he's very good, isn't he?
He's just. I saw a GoPro. I think one of the 100 lads was wearing a GoPro. I was seeing his point of view facing his bowling. It looked absolutely terrifying. But I think obviously he's still quite young as well. But he caused a lot of problems in the T20 World Cup, and I can see him having a massive impact. Of course, like Naseem Shah's not there as well, so there's a lot on his shoulders. But I think he's going to cause some serious problems for a lot of batsmen.
Basically, it's either going to be a left arm seamer or
a left arm spinner,
leg spinner, or a leg spinner. One or the other.
Who Pakistan are missing is Wahab Riaz, because obviously he won't be playing anymore. But he just always turned up in World Cups. Even the last one, he was quite old, but he loves the World Cup.
Yeah, I think that spell against Shane Watson.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't think any of us have faced it here, apart from didn't you in a recent video, Rohan, face 90-mile-an-hour bowling in the nets somewhere, and like
yeah,
it's just scary that's what Shaheen is throwing down. I think
but it's easy when it's coming out your pads, but like when it's coming out your head, it's a completely different ball game.
We're all used to 57 miles an hour in Division 6 of the South Cricket League.
Even that's enough of a challenge. So I don't know how people are going to cope with that.
Right. The next one we're going to have is it's going to be quite hard to quantify. So I guess we'll talk about it in terms of, well, yeah, just if the MVP ends up being somebody that isn't quite expected, but we're talking about surprise impact player. So somebody that kind of just shows up that you weren't necessarily expecting. So this might take a little bit of thinking. I've certainly got to have a think about this because it's going to be the MVP that you weren't quite expecting. And I'm gonna, I'll let Rohan kick things off because he looks the most confused right now. But and it gives me a little bit more time to think. Go on, Rohan.
I've got an answer in mind. I'm sure. Is Tim David playing Australia?
Ooh,
don't think so.
No, I don't.
But that would be a good shout. So maybe it would be the surprising.
I'll go for his Mumbai Indians teammate. Is Cam Green playing?
Yes.
Cam Green, he is.
Yeah,
that's a good shout, actually.
He loves, again, plays very well in India, has played very well in India. We'll go Cam Green.
I'm going to go for the Pakistani all-rounder Iftikhar Ahmed. I think he could end up, absolutely taking it by storm because he's a really explosive batter and he does do that handy off spin as well. And I think he's going to be relied on more than Pakistan want as a spinner because I don't think Nawaz and Shadab Khan are going to be that effective. So I think especially against left-handers, Iftikhar Ahmed's going to get used a lot. So yeah, he's mine. Zach?
I think I'm going to go with Liam Livingstone. I don't think anyone's necessarily expecting him to do incredibly well, but I think that ability to bowl, both actions, he can take it away and spin it in to the batsman, but also he's a very destructive batsman, which is why he's there. So yeah, I think he might have a good one. Benji?
I'm honestly, I'm racking my brains about this. I'm actually going to go with, because he's been a bit under the radar of late in world cricket. But I'm going to go with Rassie van der Dussen. I think he's going to be if South Africa do well, he will need to play really well. And I remember at the back end of last year, he was in such good nick and looked like he just wasn't getting out at times. I think if he will be a key part of that South Africa side if they do decently. And I think South Africa are probably going to be a bit of a dark horse in this tournament. So yeah, I'm going to go with Rassie. That is probably going to be the prediction that gets me the least points in the predictions, to be honest. But yeah, that's what I think.
Right. Next one we've got is team to watch out for. So I guess this is just predicting. Is there going to be an outside bet sort of team that gets that fourth semi-final spot? So, we're all expecting India to qualify. That's basically a given. They look unbelievably strong. I think a lot of us are expecting England
and Australia.
And Australia, really. So I guess we're just looking for the fourth semi-final spot. Who's going to finish that points table fourth? Zach, you can start.
I actually think potentially New Zealand could get that fourth spot based on the fact that they've hit a semi-final or better at every World Cup, be it ODI or 2020 since 2015. So for that reason, I can just see them finding a way. They find a way to be the nearly men, don't they? And they could do it again this year.
That's a good prediction. Benji?
I'm going to go with it. Our dark horse of the tournament of South Africa. They've not had a great time of it at the minute, but I think they can come in and they can cause a couple of upsets. And yeah, I think that I can see South Africa sneaking into that spot.
Nice. Rohan?
Very unlikely, but I'm going to say Sri Lanka because I know they're not the team they were in the last in the 2011 World Cup when they got to the final. But the game that got me into cricket was the India-Sri Lanka 2011 World Cup final. So if we can get close to a repeat of that, that'll be a very fitting way for obviously players like Kohli, Sharma to exit. So Sri Lanka, we'll say Sri Lanka.
Yeah,
very, very unlikely.
Sri Lanka are that team that will either absolutely storm it or they'll completely flop. Right, what's left?
I mean, you can repeat one of our other ones if you want to have
a yeah.
Sure. Or you could go with the Netherlands.
Oh yeah, that would be a very outside bet. I'm actually going to go for. I think I have to go for Pakistan actually. I think they'll turn up towards the back end of of this sort of group stage thing, and they'll actually turn it on. They'll find their rhythm a little bit. But I think Rizwan might be a little bit of an injury concern. I think that's the latest kind of news I've heard, which is obviously a massive blow for them. So depending on him, that could throw my prediction completely out. But Pakistan's my fourth place. Right. So we've predicted who our fourth place is going to be. Now the last one, this is the big one to determine the badger of all badgers. Who is going to win the Cricket World Cup 2023? Rohan, you can start.
It was between England and India. Well, my heart's saying India, but if I honestly think he's going to win, I think England's going to win. I can't see anyone beating England, so I'm going to go England win.
That's massive. I'm actually going to say India. I think they've just, all the pieces are going to come together, but obviously this all hinges on them not choking in those, the big crunch game, because I can really see them, and this is my big concern with India. I can see them getting to the semi-final game against whoever it is. They lose like 2 early wickets, and then the anchors just completely slow the game down. And they just, they say we're not losing our wickets, and they just don't put enough on the board. That's how I can see it happening. That being said, no choking this year. India are going to win it. Zach?
It's between India and England, isn't it? I mean, South Africa looked good, Australia looked good as well. But ultimately it's between India, who is what my head's saying and my heart's saying, the defending champions England. Although Joss Butler's come out and said we don't want to be called the defending champions because we don't like the word defend. So
it's want to be the attacking champions.
Yeah, what are you if you're not the defending champions? So yeah, I'm going to go India as well.
Right, Benji.
Oh, it has to be India. I think I can't see India not winning the World Cup. I think they've just got that squad where they have 15 absolutely world-class players. There's not a hole in their lineup at all, and whatever 11 blokes end up in that team are going to be fantastic. And I think they're just going to storm the whole tournament, to be honest. Home conditions, they haven't won a World Cup since 2011. They've got a point to prove in the 12 years. And as we've said, it's probably going to be a bit of a sunset for a World Cup anyway, for the likes of Kohli and Rohit Sharma, maybe even Bumrahs and the Shamis of the world as well. So there's a lot of players in this team who are going to be playing their last World Cup. And I think they're going to come out and absolutely smash it. So yeah, India for me are the ones that are going to win it. And annoyingly, I think they're going to beat Australia in the final, because we've got all this faith in England to get to this other final spot. But I can just see Australia scamming their way through a semi-final, which would be, and setting up an India-Australia final, which, I mean, that just means views, right, boys, isn't it?
Essentially. But yeah, it's going to be a great World Cup. We can't wait. Stick around, because we're going to be providing lots of content for you on the World Cup. Also, make sure you check out Rohan. His links will be in the description. Club Cricket Badger. Go give him a follow on all social medias. Also, you can follow us on social media. Our link tree is in the description. Give this video a like if you've enjoyed. Subscribe to us. Tell your friends. And we can't wait to see you next time.